Why is that happening? Okay, it is an alarm. What's OLP mean? I have no idea what's going on with this thing, but when I turned it on, well, you saw what happened. I tried to use the microwave, that was a no-go. Tried to use the hairdryer just to see what it would do, that was a no-go. The converter just kept like shutting off and then trying to turn back on again. And then there was some type of alarm on here. Excuse the cobwebs under here, wow. I'm gonna have to look up OLP. Prior to that, when I had no load on the inverter at all, it was saying that it was running 140 watts, and that shouldn't be the case. Okay, I just shut off all these breakers, and the inverter is off. So let us go and see if we still have the same problem. Okay. 0 watts, 12.5 on the batteries. Yeah, before it was saying 140 watts when nothing was being used. Sorry about the fan noise. Whew, it's hot. It's hot. I'm gonna flick all these back on. I hear the fan running, but there's no load on it really. 170 watts. How? How? I've got nothing. What the heck? Why is it saying I'm using 170 watts and I'm not running anything? Okay, I just tried my hairdryer again. It does not like anything that takes a big power suck. Anything that takes a lot of heat, I guess. Might explain why it's been running the fridge, no problem, but you know, nothing that takes a lot of power. Let's see. Still saying 160, 170 watts. And I'm not running anything at all. I don't get it. I don't understand. Shut it off first. Okay, trailer is unplugged. Let's see what we get now. Whoop. Okay, 0. Did that before though too, did it not? Alright, got my hairdryer plugged into it. Let's try that. Make sure it's on the highest heat. Nope, tripped it. Keeps tripping it. Yep, there we go. This time, I've got a fan plugged into it. I know this runs at 30 watts when it's on high speed. The highest setting, I should say. So let's turn this on again. Again, we have 0 watts. So this is saying it's running at 70, 80, 60, 70. I need to get rid of this gross thing. I know the inverter takes some juice too when that's running, but it will run small loads. It's just so weird that when I have my RV plugged into it, it runs at 170 watts with no load on it. I'm just confused. Okay, and again, plugged in the RV. It's running at 170 watts and the fans are going. Alright. I'm guessing that's why my batteries have also been, you know, fairly low after a full day of sun, because the inverter's constantly running at 170 watts. And then the fridge compressor kicks on and it's running an additional 70 to 80 watts. Do you want to go fill up the fresh tank? It's kind of low. Remember what we talked about? You said you were going to help out a little more around here. Okay. Well, I guess I'm on my own. Oh, wow. We are this low. Today is going to be a water transfer day. What the heck is that? It's not a hornet, it's not a wasp, and it's chewing through the wood. What is that? Oh my gosh. That is unreal. Oh, jeez. It's chewing the wood. Okay, well, apparently it was a type of wasp, and they do that because that's how they make their paper nests. I guess I never really thought about it before. Okay, we're on the last 2 barrels here for this water transfer. Yeah, I don't know what you can see, but we're about half full on this tote right now. This video is brought to you by Dampred. I'm kidding, but seriously, 'tis the season, yeah. The humidity is not bad today, 55% outside, 57% inside. Not bad at all, really, but it's that time of year, it's summer, and I like to put this stuff around the camper everywhere because it really does collect moisture. I actually picked these up for the first time. I haven't used these before, but I'm going to hang one in the closet and just see how that does. And I have several of these. It's the refillable kind. It already comes with the beads, but I bought another bag just in case because I've got a bunch of these hanging around. That's all there is to it. Put the lid on. Eventually, these little beads do their magic, collect all the moisture. And then this bottom part, let me put it up to the light, maybe you can see. This bottom part right here will fill with liquid. And these little beads in here kind of almost turn to like a little puck. Then you just remove them and add more. Simple as that. I don't know how much of a difference it makes with humidity, but I do know that they work. They definitely collect moisture. Okay, well this one's interesting. The beads aren't white, they're like blue, and they actually have a nice smell to them. They smell kind of like laundry soap. So apparently the liquid will collect down here at the bottom, and when it's full to that little dotted line, that's when you discard it, I guess. Yeah, I'm gonna put this one in this closet right here. Actually, going to make the closet smell nice too, which is a plus. I'll let you know how long it lasts. And I actually picked up another one of these little battery banks. I already used one of these outside for Ramsey's water fountain that he's a little bit obsessed with. Ramsey, are you obsessed with your water fountain, man? Pretty sure you are. Because the other one is mainly used for that, I picked up this secondary one. I like to take them with me in my scooter because if I'm somewhere and my phone is a little low, I can easily charge it on this. Yeah, these things are great to have if you're anywhere and just need a little boost for your phone or for a USB fan. I also have this little USB fan in the bedroom, and when I plug it into a power bank like that, I get the fan blowing straight down toward the bed. So I'll just plug it into the power bank here, turn it on. What's the matter? Why isn't that turning on? Oh, I have to turn on the power bank, that's right. There we go. Now, I've got a fan coming right down toward the bed. If you're wondering why there's no bedclothes on the bed, it's officially summer, so I am finally getting rid of my fleece sheets and putting cotton ones on the bed. I'm ditching the quilt too. It's just 2 warm evenings now. It's officially summer here. Are you basking? Are you basking, man? You enjoying it out there? Yeah? Alright. I've got a damp rid under here next to where I keep the compost. I've got one under here, which is right underneath the bathtub pretty much. Got them all over the place. It's good to keep them in various areas, but I don't have them anywhere where the cats can get at them, because if they knocked one over and spilled it, I don't really know what, you know, those little beads contain, so I don't really want them eating something like that. It might, I don't know, it might be poisonous. Do your research. Because we wouldn't want any crazy kitties off of some damp rid crystals, huh? No. Ew. But the humidity hasn't been bad enough yet to need the dehumidifier. Not yet. I'm sure it's coming, yeah. Oh. That's that. 4 barrels in the tote. Now I'm good for another few weeks. Well, dang, I lost the other end of my hose down in there. Not sure how easy that's going to be to get out, but yeah, let's see what we can do here. Oh man, I see the end like right there. Come on. That's done. Water should be good now for several weeks, I hope. And back to the inverter. I don't know if I mentioned this yesterday, but I looked up that alarm, and OLP stands for overload protection, which I guess could mean a short circuit somewhere. It's just really weird because when the trailer is plugged into it, it automatically is running at, what, 160, 170 watts? Excuse me, which it wasn't doing before, so that's new. When the trailer's not plugged into it, it stays at 0, and it can handle like small power loads, but it can no longer handle hairdryer, microwave, which it could before. I mean, it's a 3,000 watt inverter, so it could easily handle that stuff before, and now it doesn't. It cuts off, it comes back on again, cuts off, and then you get that alarm. So I don't understand what's happening. I might have to just unhook everything and try to look for an issue somewhere. Like I said, if you have any suggestions or ideas of what the problem is, please comment them below. Until I get that whole issue sorted, I do still have the inverter plugged in, and I'm going to be running just small loads on it, like maybe fans on a hot day, that type of thing. Let me just turn it on and try it for a second. Yeah, so right now I've got a tower fan here and a fan over here. I've just got them plugged into these, and I've got my little orange cord here going in through the side of the battery box and into the inverter. Yeah, just right here. So 0 watts and 12.8 on the battery. Yeah, so right now it's not running because nothing's running. The minute I plug my RV cord into it, that's when it starts constantly running at that 160, 170 watts. I don't know. It will still run my fridge because that's lower wattage, but my concern is running constantly at 170 watts, it does chew up my batteries. So for right now, my RV cord is plugged back into the generator. And I think I'm just going to be running my fridge the old school way, how I did it before. It's plugged into the power station. We're at 77%. There's not much for sun today. I've got 23 watts coming in. Yeah, and the power station is also plugged in down here, so whenever I need to recharge it, if I'm not getting enough power from the sun, I just turn on the generator and recharge it that way. That is until I figure out what's going on with that inverter, and then I can get back in business again and, you know, switch back and forth between the two, perhaps. It's all part of being your own power company. When you're off grid, you kind of have to be your own power company. Yeah. Not complaining. I'd rather do that than fork money over to Nova Scotia Profit. I mean Nova Scotia Power. I said what I said. We've all gotten really horrible power bills in the past, right? And I don't plan on doing that again anytime soon. Turn this one on the highest setting. See what the inverter's doing. 210 watts. See, that's not right. That is not accurate at all. 220 watts. Batteries are 12.5 from 12.8. 210. 200. Is it just coming down maybe? I don't know. I don't know what it's doing. I don't know. It's a mystery and just one other thing for me to add to the list. Let us just shut this off. Yeah. Okay. Beverage time. Watermelon lime. Haven't tried it. Had to buy it. Ooh. Cheers. So last video, which was all about my monthly expenses, I got asked a question many times in the comments, so I thought I would address it in this video because I did answer most of the questions, but it was asked so much I figured I would just make pretty much a dedicated video to answer the question. Actually, the question was more like questions, and there were 4 of them. The questions were, do you own the land? Do you rent the land? Are you at a campground? And do you pay taxes? The answer to all 4 of those questions is no. That might confuse you, but I am on family land. So the land that my camper and pretty much everything I own is on, I don't own. I am lucky enough to stay here for free, which I will get into how I ended up in that situation in a second. But it is a large acreage. It is just under 200 acres. I am at the edge of the property, obviously, because I'm next to the road. I realize not everyone has that option, so I definitely feel lucky. Yeah, fortunate, definitely. Blessed, absolutely. Being able to stay here for free paved the way to me being debt-free, which did definitely take longer than I thought that it would. Those black and white warblers are really loud here lately. And usually when I'm talking on camera, they start making their noise. Hear that? Anyway, getting back to my little story time here. The reason why I chose to live this way is because at one point, you know, I was paying rent and I just felt like it was a vicious cycle. You pay rent, you pay everything else that you have to pay, and I felt like I had nothing at the end of the day. And I was tired of it. And I started thinking to myself, okay, how can I make things easier? And I started thinking, if I could get an RV, you know, a camper, and if I could find a place to put it, I could live in that at least for several months out of the year, like half of the year. Spring, summer, and fall, because those are the most comfortable months. I am in Canada, so obviously we have cold winters. And my thought was to do that for those months, and then in the winter, you know, go back to renting again. I thought that, you know, 6 months out of the year I could pay rent, and then the other 6 months I would just live in the camper that I had purchased. That was my thought in eliminating some debt and basically just easing things up financially for myself. Before I even had purchased an RV or a camper, I started placing ads on a local buy and sell, looking for land to rent, knowing that I was going to purchase an RV. My thought was, you know, land is going to be cheaper to rent than an apartment or a house. I had several people reach out to me with land to rent, and one older gentleman in particular who lived quite local to me. So I had secured a spot anyway. I had secured land for an RV when I was to get one, to put it on, to pay a little rent for that land, and live a little more cheaply than I had been living. Which, by the way, if you're struggling to find land to buy, or if you're struggling to find a place to put your camper, that is an option. Go to your local buy and sells and just put an ad out there. You know, you never know who's got a driveway or something for you to park your RV on, or who has extra land and maybe the space for it. I was being kind of fussy because we didn't have a housing crisis at the time. And I obviously didn't want to just be in someone's driveway, so I was looking specifically for land that was very private, just kind of a space where I could be on my own and, you know, not have have the landlords living right there next to you. Anyway, I had this conversation with a family member, you know, mentioning the fact that I was looking for land because I wanted to get a camper, put it on, and they said, well, why don't you just park it on our land? You know, there's tons of room for you. We'll just clear out a lot.
Really?
I was definitely taken aback because it's a very generous offer. And obviously I accepted because it doesn't get any better than that. Now, I couldn't tell you how much, I don't know what this would be, this little space that I'm in here. Maybe an acre? Maybe less, maybe a little more. Either way, it's a nice private spot, and I've got a place to keep my home, for now at least. Obviously, I did pay to have all the gravel and stuff put in here, but as far as doing anything permanent, like putting a well in, not going to do that. It's not my land, you know? That's part of the reason why I won't put anything permanent in here, because it's not mine. Now, if your next question is, do you plan on owning your own land someday, or your own property? Yeah, absolutely, I do. Now that I've paid off my debt and I'm saving, maybe that'll be an option in the future. But I do have a plan and a dream and a goal in mind, which I can't tell you because I don't want to jinx anything. If I can make that plan come to fruition, you will know about it. So, that's all I'm going to say about that. So yes, it is a future plan. It's not going to happen tomorrow or anything like that, but obviously my camper back here is in a permanent location, and that is totally fine. So if I get land someday, hopefully, I'll be starting fresh, and this will be like a camp or like a home base. So I hope that answers your question or questions. No, I don't own the land. No, I don't rent the land. No, I don't pay property taxes. I'm in a rural area, and believe it or not, for that large of an acreage, property taxes aren't that bad. I'm nowhere near what they are in towns or cities. I'm just a mooch docker, baby. Anyway, it is time for a refill. I hope you're all doing well. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you in the next one. Cheers. That is one full fridge. Okay. Definitely more peachy than raspberry. Not ideal. Rory? Oh, I'm glad you're still alive. You had me worried for a second. Okay. Go back to sleep. Mr. Squirrel, you want some barbecued chicken? You're welcome to it. Fry up some plantains here. Whoop! Alright, not a bad supper. We got barbecued chicken, salad, and some fried plantains. Uh-huh.